Hi there folks, Gareth here from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and this is a drone. This is a 6-axis gyro mini quadcopter drone with camera built in. It's got 4 of these little rotors attached to essentially a camera and a battery, and it flies up and you control it via a remote control. It's a very simple device. It's got a bunch of functions here that is brandishing. Full function, up, down, forward, back, left, right, turn, left, right, side, flight, controllable. It's light, obviously, as well. There's a video camera in here, a sideward flight 360 version, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm sure it means something to someone. Withstand 5 to 6 degree wind in outdoor as opposed to outdoor. Okay, so let's have a look inside and see what there is. Oh, it also says over here that I don't know what 3D has to do with this, but I'm sure it's useful in some shape or form. It's got an LCD light. It's got flashing lights on top of it, as we can see from the actual diagram. There's video camera, and it runs on the 2.4 gigahertz wireless spectrum. Oh, and I guess this is some sort of 3D maneuver, perhaps. Actually, it shows a little arrow there, but it's swishing around doing a stunt of some description. And then over here we have a reiteration of some of the things on the front there. It comes in a variety of different colors, black, and then of course there's red there. Well, it looks like we have the blue one, and a whitish one at the bottom. Okay, on the bottom there's standard warranty stuff, and on the back is a bigger picture of it. Okay, let's get in here and see what there is. Okay, so there is the drone-y type thing, the copter sitting on the top there. It's a lot smaller than I anticipated, but then I guess going by the size of the box it would have to be this size. The controller itself looks a lot bigger than it, and we got some bits and pieces in here, so let's have a look and see what is in here. There's 4 rotors here, and it looks like there's a couple of spares inside this little baggie. So in here we have lots of little things. There's what looks like a charger, USB compliant, and then this is a proprietary charger specifically for the drone itself. What else do we have here? We have this, which is a little black doohickey. Looks like it's used for taking off the rotors, perhaps, or don't know, but there's 2 of them. Maybe for losing one, and those are the rotors there. Spare ones, orange and red or black. We've got 4 in total, and then this little device that looks like a shoehorn, and a tiny screwdriver. Very handy. I'll use those to tighten my sunglasses later on. Okay, so here is the controller. Big, black. Looks like the old PlayStation 4 controller when it was first announced. Quite comfortable to use. 2 thumbsticks, and that's about it. There's a couple of clicky buttons around the thumbsticks, so obviously you control with the thumbsticks up, down, left, right, and you can elevate and de-elevate. Then there's buttons here for possible maneuvers or slight adjustments to flying, and an on-off switch at the bottom there. And then, yeah, okay, so there's a wee LCD screen here. I don't know if that links to the camera or not. It would be nice if it did, but I guess for the wireless frequency it probably wouldn't support it. There's some shoulder buttons here, and that's really about it. It's a fairly durable controller, no frills. In the back here it takes 4 AAA batteries. Yep, 4 AAAs. Which is quite extensive, not included unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. And then the drone itself. Okay, so taking care not to damage the rotors here. It's quite light, to be honest. Yeah, it seems to have the battery already inside it here, and the main body of it is quite swish. The plastic is very light, and it doesn't feel flimsy. It just it's light plastic. I think it would take quite a few knocks. You can see in the back here, that's the power cable that connects to that USB, and then that links into the battery. And there's little rubber feet here for it to sit on and land on to give it a more cushionable. They're quite clever, I suppose. Yeah, it's quite a good use of materials there for those feet. They are lightweight. And we have this is the other side of the power connector. So obviously connecting these two together will allow you to power the actual copter. Oh, and there's some flashing lights on there. I guess so you can find it in the dark, or just to make it a bit more of a toy type affair. Okay, well, yeah, it looks certainly quite attractive. It's lovely. And there's the camera on the front. It's a 0.3 megapixel camera, according to the website. And it does video. It obviously records to a micro SD card that is housed somewhere else in the actual copter. And I don't know if you can take still images with it, but for £40, being able to have a video camera attached to some blades like this is quite novel. We have an instruction manual here because obviously I'm starting to realize that from the controller this is going to be a little more complicated to fly. Yeah, there's a whole rake of different controls here. See, turn, fine turn there, and over here we have right. These aren't the easiest controls to understand. Hold the back button. I don't know what that means. Forward and backward. Okay, free turning. Right. So the little LCD screen. Oh, there's a little LED here. That must be the on-off button there. And the hold. I'm not entirely sure what all these means. They're not exactly. They're a bit more kind of broken pigeon English or if you like. There's an example of how you plug it in and charge it and install the remote controller. Okay, and a basic guide to tilting and flight control. And over here we have aerial somersault. That's that top button. Press this button to do an audio or an aerial somersault. That must be the 360-degree thing that's mentioned on the front of the box. Yeah. Oh, and all the bits that are included. Alright, okay, so that's the copter there, and then we've got motors and batteries, and is the motor, before and after the maple leaf, USB charger, protection cover, camera module, receipt board, LED lights, and a U-wrench. Of course, that's a U-wrench. That's what we need. Before and after the maple leaf. So yeah, it's not exactly the most sensible manual to package with it. However, the copter itself it's hopefully going to be as simple to run as you would expect. It's light. It feels quite durable. I do think this would take quite a few good knocks before you would totally trash it. And it has an odd charging mechanism. It would be nice to be able to put these wires somewhere rather than just have them dangle out the back. It doesn't feel like they would actually fit inside the housing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in, charge it up, and get it out there and see if we can take some footage. The micro SD card would would fit quite nicely in this drawer here, and then we'll get it out, play around with it, and see if we can have a look at my house. So this is us just having a go with the drone outside the house on the tarmac here. We use the controller here to ease up the throttle, and the drone takes off. Using the thumbsticks to navigate the drone around is difficult. It takes quite a while to get used to it. Most of the controls around the actual joypad don't seem to really do too much. I guess I'm just not that great at piloting a drone at all. A prime example of that is this. Unfortunately, I had a problem with the camera record button on the actual controller. It didn't seem to work. However, there is a backup button on the drone itself to activate the camera. This worked quite well. However, I found it out quite late in the day whenever the camera had already been a wee bit damaged and didn't fly very well at all. But I managed to get a couple of hours of flight out of it before it eventually plummeted to its death. And I do reckon that I'll be able to fix it in the near future. You can pick it up from Mobile Fun for £40. It comes with all kinds of little extra bits that will allow you to fix it if necessary. And I'm going to have a go with that and see if I can get it back out and start working again. Thanks for watching. Take care now.